Rob Domofsky tweeted this out earlier today as well, where he says Matthew Golden with the shoulder is practicing, and Bo Melton's working with the receivers despite still wearing the green defense jersey. Lucas Van Ness going for the first time in a month since his foot injury. Only DMP was Nate Hobbs. So basically the same information we had just a second ago. Here is Matthew Golden after our first look at him, obviously with the injury. He sustained the upper body injury. To me, he looks good. Now, listen, this isn't full contact or anything, but he seems to be ready to go. I know this. If it had been Matthew Golden in the lineup when Bo Melton got that target that he dropped on that crucial, I think it was a third down, might have been a second down, but that's a play we'll talk about on Chalk Talk. If Matthew Golden was on that field, I think that ball game ends up a little bit different. I think the Packers end up scoring a touchdown and you end up winning 13 to 10 is what I think ends up happening. Again, when he's given opportunities, he's got a higher catch percentage than Romeo Doubs. Dude's just, I mean, when he gets the ball in his hand, when they throw the ball his way, Matthew Golden is as good as anybody at catching it, right? Now, contested catches down the field with a smaller body player, that's not his cup of tea, right? You want him to be a speed Z, yes, but you also want him on crossers. His bread and butter in college was that deep comeback route. I haven't seen the Packers bake that in yet. Of course, the defense is going to determine whether you can throw that route or not. But nonetheless, you see our boy Matthew Golden back out there, really excited about that. And then some other news that I thought was really interesting, got me fired up, and it's about Jayden Reed and Marshawn Lloyd. It said also Marshawn Lloyd and Jayden Reed appear to have ramped up their rehab. Both still on IR, so no photo or video allowed, but they were working up a sweat off to the side. Now, we already said Jayden Reed, I think the target is going to be Thanksgiving against the Lions. That's when they're looking to get him back, right? Will he come back before then? Probably not, right? That's probably the earliest opportunity there. But the point I wanted to make about LVN, kind of going back to that, since we're talking about, the risks that are involved when it comes to bringing a player back too early, right, is with LVN this week against the Giants, if he's not 100%, no. Let's sit him, right? Don't risk bringing them back too early. And I don't know the details of the foot injury and whether or not, I know it took way longer than they expected for it to heal, or else they would have put him on IR. And obviously the roster was in such good shape, according to, the general manager, Matt LaFleur, that you didn't really have to throw him on IR. You could kind of keep him flexible in that regard. But if he is ready to go, and let's say they're saying, oh, wait, I can go, coach. I'm about 90%, but I can go. Sit him down anyway, and go out there and try to take care of business against the Giants and let him get healthy. Because, listen, people don't want to hear this. If you lose this week, your percentage goes down dramatically, of course, but it still doesn't mean the season's over. Guys, we're in week 11. What are we – the fans that are they are absolutely scrambling, freaking out. And it's a very minute amount of the fan base. They're the loud minority. We've done poll questions on this to prove that, because I was starting to think, damn, I think I'm the only one with a positive outlook. Now, I'm finding out from other content creators who will remain nameless. We communicate behind the scenes. They're like, no, they're saying I'm a shield for the organization. They're saying I'm this. They're getting raked over the coals because they're not all doom and gloom. Now, there's one 4-letter network in the Milwaukee area that you want doom and gloom, boy, put it on there. You'll get it 24/7. So, again, Marshawn Lloyd, I'm not as concerned about, to be honest with you. Like, whether he comes back or not makes no difference to me. The way the line's blocking right now, it's not like Marshawn Lloyd's going to come in there and just tear it out of the frame. And his injury history there, I was kind of expecting him to be out for the whole year, just once we got to this point. But it sounds like they are going to ramp him up a little bit, at least give it a go. Jayden Reed's the big one, guys. He's our leading receiver the last 2 years. He's what makes this offense go. It's why I was just completely taken back last year when people were raking him over the coals at the end of the year as if he forgot how to play football. You get Jayden Reed on the field with Christian Watson, right? God, it would be so great if we had Tucker Kraft with him too, but feels like a lifetime ago since we've seen Tucker Kraft play football. It sucks. But if you get Jayden Reed on the field with Christian Watson, and of course you got Romeo Doubs, you work Matthew Golden back into the fold as well, you're going to be in a lot better shape than you were with the Eagles. If you had those guys on the football field against the Eagles, I'm sorry, you win that ball game. And to me, that's exciting. I know people are frustrated by a comment like that, but I get excited over that stuff. Like, let us see them in the playoffs again. That game on Monday night, guys, was way different than the playoff loss to them. Will we all agree? Like, seriously, which game were you closer to beating them? Which game did you feel like you had Jalen Hurts frustrated? And Nick Sirianni, did you see him on the sideline? Everybody's acting like everything's all hunky go dory on their sideline. They were stressed out all damn night because our defense had them rattled. This defense that the Packers have put together is a championship defense. And I love how people want to all of a sudden make Jeff Hafley the head coach and fire Matt LaFleur. If you do that, you do understand that statistically speaking, the defense is going to dip, right? Historically speaking, if a interim defensive coordinator takes over as the head coach, there's not going to be as much emphasis on the defense that he's going to have as he had in the past, right? So your defense is going to take a dip. And now all of a sudden, the mastermind of your offense, which by the way is still top 10 in almost every statistical category, which blows my mind that that's just getting swept under the rug. It's just feelings that Matt LaFleur is bad at his job. Yeah, if you were to fire Matt LaFleur and promote Jeff Hafley to your head coaching spot, you're going to see the defense dip, and now you got to find someone else on offense to run your offensive scheme, right? And again, Matt LaFleur is currently sitting 14th all time in winning percentage. I love mentioning that because there's still a portion of the fan base that hate it. Why someone would be upset that you mentioned that your coach is the 14th winningest coach in the history of the National Football League, a game that's been played for over 100 years now. And they go, well, you take out winning percentage and what has he done? Oh, I don't know. There was actually a matter of fact, I screenshotted it earlier. I was trying to find who did this on Facebook because I wanted to give them credit on social media, but I'll mention it here. For the people that say, what's remove winning percentage and what has Matt LaFleur done? Let me read this off to you real quick. Every quarterback Matt LaFleur's coach had their best years under him, including Rodgers' back-to-back MVP seasons. Matt Ryan is the quarterback's coach for the Atlanta Falcons. LaFleur worked with Ryan during his MVP season in 2016 and that Super Bowl run. Aaron Rodgers, as head coach of the Green Bay Packers, LaFleur coached Rodgers for several seasons, guiding him to 2 consecutive MVP awards. And by the way, 2 NFC championships in that span as well, right? Robert Griffin III, remember, he was supposed to take over the National Football League right before he had his bad injury. During his time with the Washington Redskins, LaFleur was part of the staff that saw Griffin win Rookie of the Year and lead the team to the NFC East title. By the way, working with him, meaning he was his quarterback's coach. He was the guy over the quarterback room, okay? Kirk Cousins. LaFleur also coached Cousins for 2 seasons in Washington. Cousins became the full-time starter in 2015, had a breakout season leading Washington to an NFC East title in 2016. He set a career high with 4,917 passing yards and 67% completion percentage. Okay. Now, remember Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee? Ryan Tannehill, LaFleur served as the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, where he coached Ryan to some of his best seasons. Jared Goff, I mentioned this on the NFC North Roundtable last night. As the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, he coached Goff, who had a career turnaround under his guidance. They went muddle huddle there. And that's actually, if you go and listen to the Play Callers podcast done by Jordan Rodriguez, she highlights that really, really well. Jared Goff played really, really well under Matt LaFleur as his offensive coordinator, right? Now we get on to Jordan Love. Only quarterback in NFL history to take the youngest team to the playoffs twice. Think about that. There's people that are down on Jordan Love. The only quarterback in NFL history to take the youngest team to the playoffs twice. That's another accomplishment they've had here. You have to go back to back to the 70s to find quarterbacks who have done that only once. All right. Only quarterback in NFL history to make the NFL youngest team to the playoffs and win a game. That's another one. Jordan Love's first 3 years as a starter is equal or better statistically than Aaron Rodgers' first 3 years. True story. The haters will say different era, different era. Okay. Keep making excuses. Matt LaFleur has the best winning percentage coaching record of any coach in the NFL the last 7 years. So when you break it down over the last 7 years, that predates Sirianni, he's at the best winning percentage. Okay. Nick Sirianni has a higher winning percentage than Matt LaFleur currently. So with that being said, is Matt LaFleur perfect? Absolutely not. Is Jordan Love perfect? Far from it. Both of them are. There's plenty of room to grow for everybody. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the schedule. When you're going into this season, you look at the schedule. This is how I approach it. I'm not telling anybody else to do it. This is the way my mind fires. Going into the season, you go, okay, how does our roster construct? Okay, you got the youngest roster in the league. That's a negative mark. It's going to be hard to win like that, but you got the right guys, you can do it, right? Okay. What's the schedule look like? All right, I see 11 to 13 wins, barring any crazy injuries. Here's what's crazy. If you had told me when I made that prediction, if you had said, Clayton, you're going to lose Tucker Kraft for the year. Matthew Golden's going to miss significant time. Christian Watson's not going to come back until a week, whatever it was, right? And you listed off all these players that have been banged up on offense. If you're going to lose your starting center in Elton Jenkins, right? If you told me all that, I would have said, damn, you're probably in the 9-win range if all that happens. Jayden Reed especially. Jayden Reed is huge, right? Losing Jayden Reed is absolutely huge. So put me in the 9-win range, right? And here I am sitting on November 13th going, even with losing those 3 tough games by a total of 9 points, it just blows my mind. You're still looking up and going, looking at the schedule. Yeah, if they beat the teams they should, if they sneak 1 or 2 out and drop one to a team that they should lose, or they should win rather, you're still going to finish with 11 wins. You win 11 games and you're into the playoffs, right? And again, I know everybody wants them to win every single game every week. I do too, but it's not going to happen, gang. It's just not going to happen. And all I ask is have us in the game to win that ball game. And we're going to talk about it on the Chalk Talk tonight, 6 p.m. Central. The biggest play in that game the other day was Jordan Love's fumble, where he was just trying to do too much. And what's crazy about that is if he gets that little shovel pass off where he's trying to shovel it to Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs got about 15 yards in front of him before the first defender, we're sitting here today going, how about that Brett Favre-like play by Jordan Love where he just – defenders draped over him. He somehow shovels it to the running back, and the running back picks up the first down. We're sitting here talking about that after beating the defending Super Bowl champions, and all these people that are calling in negative, all these people that are pounding up, yeah, all that. Shout out Corey in Iowa. God love his little heart. He sounds like a 3-year-old about to wet himself every time he calls in. Those guys will be positive or they wouldn't even call in. I have noticed that. When things are going good, there's a certain portion of the fan base just seem to disappear, which leads you to question, are they really fans or are they just trolls? The only time we hear from you is when things go bad. You might want to check your fan card. You're probably just an overly emotional. I'm going to watch my words here. Yeah, you're probably just overly emotional. Let's keep it nice there. So with that being said, we're going to get out of here, guys. Let us know in the comments what you think about the LVN injury, his rehab. Let us know about Matthew Golden. Let us know about everything that's going on with this offense. We want to hear from you in the comments. All comments are welcome. Just keep it respectful, right? Don't be like before said name, aforementioned, where they just want to pout up and complain when things go wrong rather than talk about what's actually happening on the field. It's just amazing. You hear somebody rattle off 7 or 8 different points, and you can literally debunk all 7 of those points one by one by one by one. It's just absolutely wild that we got to that point. So, again, Giants coming up this week. Chalk Talk tonight. Then we dive into the game plan. We'll have you the injury update before we do Chalk Talk tonight and see what everybody's injury status actually is. So, appreciate everybody. Thank you all for the kind words in the chat. Thanks to everybody who's reaching out on the text line, email, all that stuff. Everybody in the Patreon group. Appreciate y'all. Cannonball John, shoot me a message, buddy. You won the autographed Lucas Van Ness rookie card. We'll get that mailed out to you as well. Thank y'all so much for all the support. We'll see y'all tonight, 6 p.m. Central. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go, Pat, go.
Here we go.
We're out.
Bye, guys.